Hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 10 of Techopolis. Before we begin today's episode, I have a little bit of an announcement. I have made a few changes to my Patreon page, so let's go check those out together. As you can see here, the tiers are now named a bit differently, and also the pricing is a little bit different. And also the pricing here on my page for me is in euros. For you, it might be in your currency, so prices may vary depending on currency, but generally in US dollars, it's $1, $5, $10, and then if we go down below here, it's $25, I believe. So that's 22 euros. That should be the way it is. Yes. So basically, for $1, you get access to my Patreon feed. Before you got access to the Discord channels, but I wasn't really posting that much into Discord channels, so it's pointless to keep you in $1. So if you want Discord access, which I will be posting more into it, you can pledge $5, you get access to the Discord server, you can chat with me and other supporters. And then for $10, you get access to the Minecraft server, which is going to be the currently played pack that I'm recording for YouTube generally. So for now, it's Techopolis. So if you want to join that, $10 on the Patreon. And then for the $25 reward, I can't really give you any extra rewards. As of right now, I don't have any merch or anything that I could give. So for now, it's just a special thank you tier if you want to support me even more. So thank you so much for the support from the current Patreons, and back to the video. I have done absolutely nothing, pretty much, in between episodes. I just waited for this to fill up, which it did overnight because it is now the next day. So we now have 100 elite technium ingots to work with, and also 17 elite technium plates to work with, and they will also constantly be restocked as we need them. So if we go downstairs, we can start working on getting wireless access to our applied energistic system, which starts off with making an ME wireless access point. We then need to make some wireless boosters, mainly for the quest book, and then we can get into a wireless terminal. And here we go. Huzzah! We currently have no way to power this specifically. There is that, was it the crafting workbench thing? Is it not? Workbench. This guy, Tinker's workbench. We have power down here, right? So if we plonk this right down here, we should be able to toss this in and it should get charged. Yeah, there we go. It's very slow, but it is charging, so we can leave it do its thing. And in the meantime, we're going to craft a security terminal, which is what we need to actually get access to our system. And here we go. The security terminal is made. We're going to toss it right up here, I think. And we then need to toss the terminal through here. And we should be able to get access once we install the wireless access point as well. Okay, this is something charged. Right now, there's no linkage. So if we go over here, we add it to here. It's going to say linked. And then we can add the wireless access point, which is going to go for the moment right over here. And it should connect. It says device online. There it goes. We have wireless access. So if we go a little bit away, we're out of range. But if we come very close, we have a wireless terminal. And we can set this to be the way we want it. And actually, we're going to make a wireless crafting terminal. And I don't know, there is a wireless universal terminal that is in here, but there is no crafting recipe. But there is a crafting recipe for a wireless universal grid. So I don't know how does one get the terminal, if that is even possible. But we'll see. At least the crafting terminal is a thing that we can get. So we just need a crafting terminal and a Flux Pearl, and it should be good. There we go. Wireless crafting terminal. It loses all its power, so we're going to go get it charged again down here. The other thing that I want to actually craft for the wireless stuff is the wireless infinite access booster card. This thing. It's super cheap in this pack because I guess it wants you accessing everything. So we're going to get an infinity booster card, which the wireless boosters can go in here, and it increases the energy usage. But I think if we put this in the terminal, we should be able to get wireless access from pretty much anywhere in the base and possibly even other dimensions. Like so. Do I put this? Where do you go? Ah, there it goes. Infinity booster card. If I go all the way over here, huzzah, we have access. Nice. And this drains power once we have it open, and it drains it fast. Okay. Because I guess we have the infinity booster. So let's charge this up, and possibly it'll last until we get access to Flux networks, which will allow us to wirelessly charge items from our inventory. Might as well finish off the quest line for applied energistics by making the 1K ME storage cell, and then we also need a molecular assembler. This guy like so. Huzzah. While we're here, we're gonna also finish off the thermal quest line. And also we're gonna make the hardened solar panel and finish off the elite technium quest line. You know how I said I did nothing in between episodes? I made all of this, which I wanted to add in the previous episode from yesterday, and I just ran out of time to add all of this, so we are gonna do it today. And here I prepared some infusing factories, one of which is turning basic technium plates and compressed redstone, enriched redstone, into basic control circuits, which is what we need for crafting the other tier of circuits. For example, if we want to craft a purification chamber, we need advanced control circuits, which are basic control circuits with advanced technium plates. The other three infusing factories are going to be making infused alloy, reinforced alloy, and atomic alloy, which is what we need to craft ourselves teleportation cores. And the teleportation cores are then pulverized into flux dust, which is used to make all of the things in flux networks. Mechanism machines are a bit more difficult to automate, but XNet makes it super duper easy because mechanism machines require two different sides for inputs for the enriched redstone and for the iron ingots, for example. So what XNet does, we have one connector on the machine, as you can see in the back, but we can change which side the connector works from on different inputs. So over here, we have an input for iron ingots, and that works on the east side. And then the redstone gets put in on the south side, which basically means like we would have an import bus, or an export bus, I should say, on this side. But the machine doesn't know that because XNet tells it to insert from this side, which is really cool. So you can get away with having just one connector in the back and everything works beautifully. So I did set this up for 250 infused alloy, and I'm going to do the same for the reinforced and the atomic. And there we go, everything is being crafted, but firstly, these will have to go up to 250 and then backlog the reinforced alloy in here, and then this will have to go and backlog in here, and then this will backlog in here. So they will finish eventually. We mostly need the atomic alloy right now if we want to make the teleportation cores, which we can do right now. And I think for the moment, we're just going to manually craft the cores and crush them from however many things we need, because they are going to be a little bit expensive to make in the beginning, but eventually we can automate the process as well. While we wait for those to get processed, we're going to make a couple osmium compressors, like so. And these we're going to set up over here. One right now for reinforced, I think it's reinforced obsidian, refined obsidian. I think that's the thing. Yeah, this guy, refined obsidian ingots. That's what we need. We need to combine osmium ingots and refined obsidian dust to make refined obsidian ingots. So we're going to do that over here. And the other one is going to be for refined glowstone ingots, I believe. Yeah, these we're going to get once we get to glowstone. I'm going to make a few more teleportation cores. I don't think 10 is going to be enough for what we need. So let's do, I don't know what, I think like another 30 or so. And we'll see where that gets us. But I think we might need many, many more in the future. So eventually automation, as I said, is going to happen. But for the moment, we're going to toss this in here. And I think we should have some flux dusts in the system. Yes, we have 20 flux dust. And we have unlocked the ability to make waystones now, which require purple dye, teleportation core, and an emerald. I think that's doable. There is a warp stone like so, and then we can get ourselves a waystone. The next thing that we need to make for flux networks is some flux cores. And then we can turn those flux cores into flux blocks as well. And I think I need to make the flux cores and put them in my inventory. There we go. And the flux block. And then we can make ourselves a flux plug, which is going to be the input for all of our power. And then we need some flux points, which are just some flux cores. And we're out of flux dust, basically. So we're going to maybe be able to make one flux point right now. Awesome. The quest book wants me to make some basic flux storage, which is going to be made like so. And then we also need a flux controller, which is going to enable wireless charging. And I keep forgetting the noises are super loud. So the flux controller, we're going to place somewhere. Let's put it right over here where we have kind of our applied logistics system. So we're going to select a network. We need to create a new one. It's going to be Fiki's network. I think it can be just that. It's going to be colored. It can be private. Sure. So we're going to select that. And let's go down here. And we're going to toss in a flux plug right over here on this storage cell. And then we select Fikibreaker's network. And if we put down a basic flux storage, which we can do right, we'll put it over here for the moment. And if we select Fikibreaker's network, we should start getting an input of 8,000 FE per tick, which is the max that this redstone flux cell can do at this point in time. Oh, we can upgrade it easily. If we exchange this to, guys, we should be able to increase this, yeah, by 12K. Cool. So that's gonna fill up the network here. And if we go to our Flux network controller, we can enable wireless charging. And that way we can have the crafting terminal always charged up. So if we go here, wireless charging, we can enable all the slots inventories disabled. We can do offhand, main hand, apply, enable wireless, apply, and there we go. This guy is fully charged and we can start using it all the time around the base. And that's pretty neat. Awesome. So I don't really have to come back over here unless I need to add patterns or access my interfaces, which we don't have any just yet. I did a little bit of research for the AE2 wireless terminals, and the universal terminal is not craftable yet. So we're going to have to deal with just having the wireless crafting terminal. It is going to be wonderful still. Had I known that before, I would have probably gone for refined storage, but I really wanted to play around with applied logistics, and I don't regret my decision. Now that we have Flux networks unlocked, we can start putting the power directly into the energy cell, and then we put it into a Flux plug, and then, for example, we have a Flux point right over here, which is now we can see how much it drains directly from the Flux point. And then I also started adding pretty much everywhere around the base where we have some machine that requires power, it now has a Flux point or some cabling and a Flux point. And then basically over here, for example, for these ones, I decided to add the ultimate universal cable, even though this ultimate universal cable stores 3.2 million RF in just this single block. So it's kind of in itself a power cell. But basically, this machine currently uses 20 RF per tick. And eventually it's going to use like 200 something or maybe 500, possibly when it's max upgraded. And we're going to see if we're going to need this ultimate cable. We might do a lower type of a cable, because the weird part is with these cables is if you have one cable, that's 3 million RF. And then if you have two cables, that's 6.5 million. 3 cables, 9.8. 4 cables, 13.10. So all of this has to be filled with power before the machine can get any power, or before flux points can transfer power to a different machine. So I had to do a whole lot of waiting because I exchanged everything, for example, over here. So each one of those cables had to fill up with 3.2 million RF, which is insane. And at first I had a giant cable running all the way over here, and I was just, my entire base shut off because it was filling the entire cable with millions and millions upon RF. And for that reason, we now have a lot of these thermogenerators that are free because we don't have them next to machines anymore. So we can have them consolidated in one singular spot. And I decided to also upgrade most of these to the hardened tier. And they're currently only producing 56 RF per tick because I'm using the magma block. But I think we can very slowly get into some power, and we can get into the Energizing Orb and the Energizing Rods. And we can also get into the reactors, but the Energizing Orb is going to be cool because it can produce blazing crystal. And the block of blazing crystal can be used as a heat source for the thermogenerator, and it produces a bunch more power. This would be 100%, so this would be 280% of power from each of these generators, so it's going to be insane. And to get started with power, we need to automate the Uraninite Extractor, which we then need to extract out some uraninite, which is made with uranium clusters being put into it. And then you get raw uraninite. And I believe you can get other types of this. Yeah, 3 different varieties of this. And then we toss that through the smelter. Yeah, and we get uraninite specifically. And then we can use that in the resource combiner to make dielectric paste. I quickly threw together the contraption needed to process uranium clusters through the Uraninite Extractor through a redstone furnace into the resource combiner, and then we end up with dielectric paste, which we need to grab. But firstly, we need to grab some of this regular uraninite, so we need to wait for this guy to process, and then we can snag it from here, and then we need to pick up this, and then we should have the quests completed. So if we toss this back in here, that should go. We also need a block of uraninite. I assume that's just 9 of these. There we go. The next thing that we need is a bunch of these dielectric rods, and we're gonna get the vertical ones and also the horizontal ones. And I'm short on dielectric paste. There we go, that's a stack of each, and we can turn these into dielectric casing. And then we can get into an energizing orb. That is a simple recipe, like so. And we can then also make the energizing thingy rod starter as well. I think we should have everything. We just need to split this capacitor in half, like so. There we go, the energizing rod starter. And we also need to get into a starter reactor, but we'll do that in a moment. It is also very cheap to upgrade to the basic energizing rod, and I don't know how many of these we need, plus how this system actually works. So we have this, and we have these, which I can't place. How do you do this? I have to actually check. Oh, this is charging in my inventory. Okay, that's fine. I need the manual. Okay, so the rod has to be placed on the side of any charging block. And we then, let's say, take a blaze rod. I think it was that, to make the blazing crystal. Yeah, it's 1 blaze rod and 90,000 RF. So if we toss this in here, huzzah! Okay, it's doing its thing. It's fairly slow. So let's make a few more of these rods and see if that increases the speed a little bit. And just like that, we have our first blazing crystal. I currently don't have blaze rods automated, but we have a few, so that we can toss them in here. And I wonder if I can do this with like hoppers, just for the moment, or possibly just cables. So let's see, I have logistical transporters here. Let's try and put down a chest. Oh, you can totally put more than a stack. Does it then work? It looks like it isn't. And I can extract 1 at a time, I guess. So if I right click 1, it does its thing. Okay, so we need to insert 1 at a time. XNet always comes in handy with the controllable max amount in destination inventory, and it's super simple to do. So we have basically blazing crystal automated. And the simple thing that we could do is they could possibly go in a compacting drawer, right? I just want to try this. We'll put you down here. We'll take these. Yep. Okay, so we'll do an extract out of here, and instead of inserting in the barrel, we'll insert into the drawer. And then we can lock it and quantify it and do the thing. And you're still doing your thing. Still energizing, and we should have 1 block of this. Hold on. Now, ultimate test. How much power do you make? You make almost 200 RF per tick. That's going to be so much power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 2,000 power in a row. I think I'm just going to run these for power. That's going to be 2,000, 4,000. That's 8,000 RF per tick. And I can easily make more. And once I get to the next tier, it's just going to increase the power even more because we're going to upgrade them to the next tier of the technium ingots. Okay, I'm doing this for power. I think, yeah, this is going to be easier than generators. Just better. Once we get blazing crystal automated. Well, I know what we're doing next episode. We're gonna end off the episode by finishing off the power questline. And with all that done, I want to thank you so much for watching. I am really hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to get notified of when new videos go live. You can also support me on Patreon if you want to play with me on this very server, and I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.